All right, mighty people, back with another video helping you to make the mega shift from 3D to 5D, from third dimensional reality to higher dimensional reality, vibrating in unity with unconditional love so that you can achieve peace, you can be healed, you can rejoice, you can experience liberation, you can walk with angels in heaven on earth, as compared to the suffering of the 3D world, where many, the majority, have experienced trauma, disease, negative emotions such as anger, addictions, demons, but demons in quotes. So how can you make the shift from demons to angels, from addiction to liberation, from disease to being healed, from anger to rejoice, from trauma to peace, from 3D to 5D? So again, jump into the unity of what does peace look like in your life compared to what is the trauma that you're experiencing. We have to hold and ground the higher dimensional, fifth dimensional energy of an infinite amount of light and unconditional love. And these are the opportunities to practice that mastery. 5D can be boiled down to a shift, a dramatic shift in perspective, a radical revolutionary shift in perspective, where you no longer identify as a separate egoic self, and instead you identify as the unified collective itself, unified with the celestial realms, unified with the highest potentiality, unified with the purest love and purest light that we all can manifest, that we all can channel, that we all can access when we know how to vibrate higher, when we know how to skyrocket our vibration. So again, all of these things from a fifth dimensional perspective, none of these are wrong, none of these are bad. There is no bad or good really from a fifth dimensional perspective. All are catalysts that you can utilize to learn the lessons that you need to learn so that you can ultimately experience the higher dimensional realities of peace, of being healed, of being rejoiced, etc. So let's go through these one by one. Let's start at the top. Trauma. Everybody experiences trauma from the moment you're born. It's like trauma. They smack you when you come out of the mother's womb in the hospital. There's the trauma begins right there. On and on throughout life. So the process of really establishing 5D or experiencing peace is going to be going through the trauma as you're experiencing it. If you're experiencing it now, for those who are experiencing trauma now, is to be grateful for it, to have infinite discipline. This is where the infinite consciousness comes in. You have to have an infinite amount of discipline and gratitude to unify the shadow. It's all about shadow unification to go from 3D to 5D. So look at those traumas and make a revolutionary shift to being grateful for them. That's all that it takes to begin to make the shift, as opposed to judging it. So let's say, in addition to this trauma, we can add abuse there. Let's say you were abused and that's part of your trauma, as opposed to having the victim conscious, oh, I was abused, and let the abuse gain over you. You have to make the radical shift to going, thank you for that trauma. Thank you for that abuse. And you might think that doesn't make sense, but it makes perfect sense because it's the opportunity to practice infinite love, infinite gratitude. That's what 5D is. So again, thank you trauma, thank you trauma, thank you trauma for the opportunity to practice unconditional love. And as you hold that energy and integrate with your breath especially and embody, we can go through what is the traumatic breath. It's like, I was just abused, or I'm running for my life, whatever. We have to go back, summon back that experience, go back through the timeline is what we can do, and integrate is breath of unconditional love and infinite light that you can find within your heart. You can achieve with my courses. Check out my links below and my meditations. You can transform the trauma into peace. You can achieve peace. You can achieve the peaceful breath through the trauma, no matter how bad it is or how bad you think it is. You have the power because you're an infinitely powerful being in 5D, and everybody has this potentiality, and I'm here to help you unlock it. If you're interested in unlocking it, again, check out my site, check out my courses, but let's keep going. Disease. So my own experience, my mother was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer about 10 years ago, and man, this was really my biggest catalyst of shifting into 5D. This was like life destroying for me at the time, and everybody around me at the time had this attitude of, oh, this is the worst thing ever, this is horrible. That's how I felt, that's how everybody felt, and everybody just gave all this negative energy towards it, in addition to the love for her and all that. But mainly there was never any gratitude for that disease. And after 10 years on this journey, on this process, I've learned that my ultimate realization is to actually be grateful for the disease. So it's taken me 10 years, but now I can say, now I can understand how this disease served, and that diseases are actually our own creation, that my mother created this disease, believe it or not. And if you're experiencing disease in your life, I encourage you from a fifth dimensional perspective to see, how is your disease actually serving you in some way? Why have you chosen to experience this disease in whatever way? Because in 5D, you're creating your reality. You have that power. And if you're not conscious of why you're doing it, then you're doing it in a subconscious way. So my mother created this disease so that she could be liberated, so that she could leave this planet, because she had enough of this planet, and I never realized that. So not all diseases are terminal. Not all diseases will end in death. Some will, but many won't. So if you're experiencing a disease that's not terminal, see it from a fifth dimensional perspective that is there again to give you the opportunity to integrate an infinite amount of love, to practice unconditional love for that disease, for yourself, for that part of you. So whether it's a heart disease, whether it's a lung disease, whether it's a leg disease, it's there to give you the opportunity to practice unconditional love. What happens when you give that disease an infinite amount of love, as opposed to judging it, thinking all the negative things about it, or complaining about it, and all these things? It's a radical shift, and it will get you on the path to being healed. If you apply an infinite amount of love to that disease, it will heal, because love heals everything. That's what it does. And an infinite amount of love will heal an infinite amount of things. So if you need to get into the love, if you need to channel into the unconditional love, again, check out my courses, check out my meditations. It will get you in the vibe of unconditional love. Everybody has the power to channel unconditional love. Not many people know how to do it for themselves, how to do it for others. But just imagine that you're in a sphere of complete, pure, higher dimensional, brilliant, diamond, crystalline energy, and pass that starlight, crystalline energy through the diseased portions, through the distorted aspects of that disease, whatever it is, with your breath. And we can channel that energy, we can move that energy through the disease and clear and purify those distorted elements, and to get you healthy, to get you healed. Because in the 5D, you're healed in 5D. So why shift into 5D? So you can experience being healed. You can finally be healed and not need to continue to heal. You can be healed, and you can perform healing. So that's what I'm working on now. Got it? Awesome. So thank you to the diseases for the opportunity to practice infinite love, unconditional light. That's the radical shift into unity. Because again, if you're experiencing the disease, it's somehow separated from love. We need to unify it with love, and then it becomes healed. And that's your opportunity. So now let's talk about anger, because I've really struggled with anger. And forever, everybody just always said, oh, anger, that's bad. You don't want to have anger. You don't want to hold on to anger. Anger is just going to cause problems. But again, that is not a unified perspective of anger. There's no real wrong emotion from a fifth dimensional perspective. So nothing's really wrong with anger. It's what do you do with the anger? So what I've learned on this journey is to be grateful for the anger when it shows up, and realize, anger, how are you here to serve? How can we serve? So how can I utilize this anger to serve love? How can I be grateful for the anger, again, with an infinite amount of love, grateful for this anger, and just love the anger? That's what I was doing this morning when I woke up feeling really angry. I said, what do I need to do? I asked my higher spirit guides, what do I need to do with this anger? I'm so frustrated and so angry. You just need to love the anger. And I had never thought about that. But again, that's 5D in action. So I'm just going to love this anger. Wow, thank you. Anger is what fires me up so I can make these videos to help make this shift. If I didn't have this anger, there's things I might not do. So the anger, the problem is if you hold on to the anger and you let the anger fester, and then you serve negativity with the anger. But if you serve love with the anger, if you love the anger itself, it's transforming into service. And that's what 5D is all about, is being aligned in service. Boom. There's no wrong emotion. There's no real bad emotion. It's what do you do with it? In 5D, it's all about serving love. So anger can serve love. The negativity can serve love. Again, it's all opportunities from the fifth dimensional perspective. So let's unify the anger and lower dimensional emotions with love as well, and not judge them, because 5D is all about non-judgment. So we're not going to judge the anger. Somebody that's angry, what happens if you give them love? You're feeling angry. What happens if you just embrace that anger and go, I'm loving this anger, and let it act out in a way that's not going to cause harm, in a way that's functional, in a way that serves. And 5D magic is already happening. Boom. All right, people, you with me? Let's keep going. So addiction, this is a really tough one because our society, the collective, is so addicted right now on so many different levels, from a cell phone addiction to substance abuse addiction, alcohol addiction, drug addiction. Man, I've experienced a lot of this. I'm sure you've experienced pieces of addiction right now. Social media addiction, television addiction. Addiction across the board is plaguing our society. So it's tough. Let's get some deep breaths through this addiction. So again, from a 5D perspective, we have to look at the addiction, and we actually have to honor the addiction, and we have to ask, how can this addiction serve if we embrace the addiction with love and with light? It sounds wild, but if we're grateful for the addiction as opposed to, oh, I'm addicted, and going back to a 3D narrative, oh, I have an addiction, or I'm addicted to this, and it becoming a victim narrative, we have to turn it into an empowered narrative. You have to look at the addiction. Let's say, for instance, like social media addiction or drug addiction. So I know a lot of people that have social media addiction. I've known many people with drug addiction. And so again, what if this is an opportunity to practice, again, unconditional love through the addiction? So a lot of addictions, we have to look at the root. What's at the root of the addictions? This is the key. And a lot of times there's a trauma at the root of the addiction. In my own experience of my own addictions, my addictions were fueled out of never feeling loved, never feeling embraced, or never feeling like cared for. And so it took me a long time to realize this. At the root of my addiction was this needing to feel good and using different things, abusing different things to just feel good. So when you have unconditional love, you're not going to need external things. You're not going to need any addiction to feel good, because unconditional love on its own feels amazing. It's the best feeling in the world. So imagine that you knew you were loved every day, that you felt beloved every day, every moment. You were able to access that energy of being beloved. You're able to share that love with others, and that love was able to come back to you infinitely. That's what it's like being in 5D. It's an amazing feeling. So again, being healed in 5D is free from addiction, liberation. So what really needs to happen is these addictions need to be liberated. And how can we liberate them is by uprooting them. We have to get under them, at the trauma, at the root there, the abuse there. Why is this person addicted to the drugs? Why is this person addicted to social media? Or why are you addicted to those things? What's at the root? What are you seeking out from the dopamine hits? Or what are you seeking out from this substance? It's probably some feeling that you're not getting elsewhere. So we have to find an alternative way to get that feeling. And the way that you can do it is with infinite discipline, again, the infinite consciousness of unconditional love. And how to integrate that, how to master that, how to have that. I don't want to say it's the ultimate drug, but from the perspective of, here's a pharmaceutical, here's an invisible, infinite pill of unconditional love that you can take or you can access at any time. It is like the ultimate divine drug. I guess this is a strange way of putting it, but one that doesn't cause harm, one that only serves positivity and serves higher dimensions. If we can get the population, if we can get the collective to integrate unconditional love and to know that you're loved on the most fundamental level, like if you knew that you were loved on the most fundamental level and that you were cared for infinitely, and that you had infinite value, that you were infinitely worthy, and that you're an amazing being, and you have all this infinite potential. You can be whoever you want, you can do whatever you dream, you can accomplish it all, like this infinite positivity. If you had that, are you going to need to be flipping through this? Are you going to need to abusing substances? No, because you have that infinite ultimate power within you that maybe everybody is seeking to be loved on some level. Everyone's seeking for someone to love them on some level, to honor them on some level. But if you're able to do that for yourself and you're able to do that for others, then you're stepping into 5D. You're stepping into that role as the way shower. You're stepping in as being healed and able to perform healing. And can heal the addictions and no longer be addiction, and that's experiencing the liberation. You no longer need those things in order to feel high. You can have that natural high. 5D is like a natural high. It's vibrating a natural high, and that's what I really love about it. It's sobriety. It is high on sobriety is what 5D is, and that's amazing. And let's get more of that. Let's get more of that unconditional love pumping through the collective, because again, in the biggest block to it is this limited ego sense. I'm this limited separate thing that's not worthy of love, or that nobody cares about me or nobody loves me, versus stepping into the identity, I am love itself. I am an infinite amount of love itself. And it's we, really, and this I is just an illusion. It's really we, this creation from the ultimate highest perspective, is an infinite amount of love. Wow. I just made the paradigm shift. I no longer have to seek love outside of myself. We, because I am really we. I have all these angels, infinite amount of celestial beings, infinite amount of reflections that in my consciousness I know are also forms of love. They're all forms of love, and 3D is just distorted forms of love. All these things are actually forms of love in a distorted way. And when I see it from that perspective, I can already infuse all of these things with love just through the power of infinite consciousness. So check out my courses so you can get this mastery, and you can lock this in, and you can get high on sobriety, and you can liberate yourself from the addictions, from the diseases, from the traumas. Let's get down to the root here. Are you with me, people? Yes, let's go. You're mighty. You're mighty. You have that power to do it. Everybody can do it. That's the beautiful thing. Everybody can do it. It's just mastery of consciousness, mastery of your heart, being open to receive it, being open to download it into your being, and then having the infinite discipline to practice it every day. So again, thank you to the addictions. Thank you, addictions, for the opportunity to practice and to learn and to integrate and to heal with unconditional love and to jump into 5D unity. All right, demons. Let's get down to demons in quotes. Demons. So yeah, demons. It's a tough subject. But we have this interesting cultural understanding that, angels, demons is this duality, right? Angels, demons. Just understanding throughout time, throughout history of angels and demons, whether they're real or in your imagination or however you want to put it, there are these archetypes, or there are these cultural sort of forces that we can feel. And so a lot of people struggling with addictions or with these things will maybe refer to them as demons. At the root, there's these demons. So again, in 5D, is angelic life, is angelic. You're surrounded by angels. Think of Christ commands the infinite angels. Angels being celestial beings that serve love and that serve light and that praise the Creator. Whereas what are the demons doing? They're there with the pitchforks on your, maybe there's one on your shoulder telling you to do the wrong thing or to abuse the substance or to do something wrong. There's like the demon and the angel on the shoulders, right? So how do we make the shift there's people that really do suffer from demonic possession. It's not a joke to them. But how do you make the shift if you're struggling and suffering from what may be demons in your life at the root of all of this stuff, let's say? How do you make the shift from a demon to an angel? You might think that's impossible, but I'll tell you, you can do it. I've seen it done. And I've done it. And here's how you do it. You teach the demon. So if there's a demon inside of you, if you're worried there's a demon inside of you, or you're seeing demons in other people, all it takes is to face the demon. You have to face the demon. At the root of your addictions, at the root of your anger, at the root of the disease or the trauma, whatever it is, you got to face that demon. And all you have to do is say to the demon, hey, I know you might want me to cause harm, or you might want me to do the worst thing ever, or destroy myself, or destroy somebody else, or reap chaos, hell, and all that stuff that goes along with demonic association, destroy my life, destroy my family. You might want all of that. But what you really want, demons, is love. That's all it takes. Teach that demon that. What you really want, demon, is love. That's going to fulfill you. The demons don't understand love. They don't understand it. You have to teach it to them. You have to teach them that's what they really want. So teach that to the demon. Say, hey, demon, thank you, demon. Thank you, demon, for trying to destroy my life or whatever, or whoever's life. Thank you. No, really, thank you. They're doing, wow, done an amazing job trying to destroy everyone's lives. Demons need love more than anything. They don't need, oh, I must cast you out because you're the evil. That can just make things worse. No, demon, I have an infinite amount of love for you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Enjoy your ride into infinite light. And the demon will transform into an angel because you'll fill it up with an infinite amount of love and light. That's how it works. That's shadow unification. That is shadow unification at its finest. We're not going to cast the demon out into the deepest parts of whatever hell, because that just divides heaven and hell further. They have to be united. The worlds have to unite. We have to give an infinite amount of love and light to the demons and the devils, and they will transform into angelic beings. That's the power of the infinite creator. It's all an illusion. Do you see this? Do you see this? So thank you, demons, for the opportunity to practice unconditional love. And yes, you might think you're going to cast it out into heaven, or you're going to transform the demon into heaven, or into an angel, or you're going to obliterate the demon, really dissolve it. It's going to dissolve. It's going to dissolve. It's going to dissolve with an infinite amount of love. What's going to win? A finite demon versus an infinite light of the creator of infinity. The infinite creator wins every time, but you have to have that consciousness. You have to have that consciousness locked in. If you don't have that consciousness locked in, that demon will find its way to convince you that it's more powerful in whatever way that it can, whatever dark force that you might think that it has over your life. I guarantee you that infinite love light is infinitely more powerful, because demons are not infinitely powerful. They have finite power if you even consider that they exist. I've seen demons in people before. I've worked with demonic exorcisms before, so I know what I'm talking about. They're finite. They may be real, but it depends on what your definition of real is. My definition of what real is love. Infinite love is the ultimate reality, so demons are not real anymore to me. They're just shadows that are here for us to unify into the light. You with me? Boom. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to suffer from demons. You don't have to suffer from addiction or anger or disease or trauma. If you're suffering from these things, it's because you're agreeing to it on a subconscious level. If you want to experience peace, be healed, rejoice in liberation with angels, are extraterrestrial, divine extraterrestrials, Arcturians, I'll say, then you have the invitation to join my courses. You have the information here that allows you to begin to do that on your own. You have the power. All it takes is mastering the consciousness, integrating and embodying it on a daily basis, and you got it. You can do it. I hope you'll make the choice to join us in 5D. Infinite love, infinite light, infinite blessings to you all. With Thrive as Unity, Thrive with Infinity. Wishing you all infinite blessings. Peace.